call to order the regular meeting of West Valley City Council. We note that we have all council members present with the exception of Councilman Lars Nordfeldt, who is excused tonight. With that, we'll begin with an opening ceremony. We turn to Councilmember Karen Lang for that.
Would you please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Special recognitions, not any approval of the minutes of August 8th of 2017. To the council for a motion on the minutes.
Move for approval of said minutes.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the minutes of August 8th, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. The minutes are approved. Next, we have our comment period, where a person may speak up to 5 minutes. This is a time for someone to express their opinions, and we listen. Not a debate, but a listening time. So with that, we have Esther Olszewski. Is that close? Here, if you would come forward to the microphone.
Thank you. So I live on 1 Street east of Hunter High School on 5400 West, and there is so much construction going on around our neighborhood. Understandably, the 4100 construction for Mountain View Corridor. I mean, yeah, I get that. That's understandable. But the reason that I'm here is it's compounded with work that's being done at the top of my street on 4700 and 5600 West. And I don't know what that project is for. It seems like lack of planning and kind of trying to stagger these, because with that and then 5600 and then an additional project on 4800 West, our neighborhood is completely boxed in with construction. It's just so frustrating. To make it even harder, the city buses have been detoured up our street. So now our nice little residential street has become this thoroughfare of just city buses and detour traffic. At the top of the street on 4700, when the westbound traffic is detoured, they are detoured down our street northbound, which then becomes just a huge traffic jam. Plus the 4100 traffic is being detoured up our street. So we're getting it just over and over again. And it might seem like, well, it's just a detour, you just go through. But yesterday, turning up our street at just 3 in the afternoon, there were 38 cars lined up to turn left on 4100 South on this little street. I turned up and thought, what the heck? Counted cars, 38 cars. I just think that is just way too much traffic on our little street. And I'm concerned that there just seems to be no effort to slow down the traffic. No your speed is signs, no temporary speed bumps, no anything. They're just funneling everybody through our little neighborhood. And then with school starting next week, I wonder, how are these kids who already are lacking one crosswalk, and they run across the street in last fall, they were running across the street, and in the summer, and to where there was a crosswalk taken away. And now I'm wondering and worried what's going to happen with these kids with all that extra traffic and the city buses. And I submitted a petition for a traffic study to maybe put up one of the "Your Speed is" signs. And I'm under the impression that that is being waited on, because with all the detour traffic, it won't be a real honest number, because they want things when it's mellowed out. But it's not going to mellow out, because with the continued detour of Mountain View Corridor, it's going to then start on the UTA Rapid Transit on 56, and it's just, we're always going to be a detour. And I fear that that something bad is going to have to happen before West Valley does anything. And many of my neighbors and my family feel like West Valley just does not care about us. We don't care about those who are being affected on our streets and our neighborhoods with how things are being routed and having more thoughtful care to keep these our neighborhood streets. We get it. The UTA buses are very good at keeping the speed limit, but we just are not seeing the care from the city to keep our neighborhoods safe before something bad happens. Thank you.
Thank you. Was there anyone else here for public comment? To our city manager, then.
Mayor, I don't have any comments about any other subject tonight, but I was just going to suggest to Ms. Olszewski, I hope I said that right or didn't mess it up too bad, that you'd stick around for a minute and we'd have you talk with our Public Works Director, just because I'd like to have him give you a feel for more what the schedule is for the various projects there are, and I appreciate you bringing in the concerns about the actual setup of the detour and all that sort of thing. Maybe there is something we can do on speed signs or awareness signs, that sort of thing. So if you don't mind, if you got a moment, I'd like you to stick around and talk with him.
Okay, thank you. And I would echo that, especially the key item that caught my attention was the school reminding me that, yes, there's an elementary school there, and I've been by when the kids are crossing the street. There's a church on the other side with the parking lot. A lot of people let their kids out there and they cross the street. And they try and keep them in the crosswalk with the safety patrol and control that and crossing guards and things, but that's a real challenge. So I know the project on 4800 West is essentially done. They've repaved that. They were just doing a couple of finishing touches there, but I think the one on 4700 South is still going. And I don't know how far that's going to go.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted Russ to speak with her, because he'll have a better feel for how all of
Yeah.
those are integrating at the same time.
Yeah. And if that is going to go much longer, we might want to take a look at that as far as in front of the school, what other options are available. So, okay. Any other comments from the council? Councilman Vincent?
I'll just echo what she said. I mean, I live right off of 54 in the same neighborhood, and my wife has commented several times as we've gone down there with the buses there, and so I think if there's something we can do. I know most of these projects are not our projects; they're state projects or Granger Hunter improvement projects, so they're not the city projects, but. We ought to be able to talk to those other agencies and see what we can do. So.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, then we'll go on to the next item on our agenda, item 7, resolutions. Resolution 17-132. This is to authorize the city to enter into a contract with Schindler Elevator Corporation for work on our elevators to make sure they are functional, safe, and ADA compliant. It's a $45,769 budget. That is the issue. Then with that introduction to the council, and just so you're aware, yes, we have talked about these before, and these are fairly routine, but to the council then for a comment or a motion.
I move for approval, resolution 17-132.
Second?
Motion and a second, properly before us. Any further discussion or comments? Seeing none, to our city recorder for the roll call vote.
Councilman Vincent?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lang?
Yes.
Councilman Bueller?
Aye.
Councilman Hume?
Aye.
Councilman Christensen?
Yes.
And Mayor Bigelow?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much. We next go to resolution 17-133. This is to authorize the city to enter into a right-of-way contract with Alma Horde, and this is on property at 2563 South, 7025 West. This is the purchase of actually a home and lot where we will be putting in a street in order to make that work. We have to take the majority of that property, so we are purchasing the home and as typically required for moving expenses as required by state law. So the total of $390,000 will complete that, and then work can continue there for completing that road work in the future. That is the issue before us. To the council then.
Mayor, I move for approval of Resolution 17-133.
Second.
Motion and a second, properly before us. Any further discussion? Seeing none, to our city recorder for the vote.
Councilman Christensen,
Yes.
Councilman Hume,
Aye.
Councilman Bueller,
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang,
Yes.
Councilman Vincent,
Yes.
and Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next, we go to our consent agenda. We have Resolution 17-134. This is to ratify the city manager's appointment of Summer Thatcher as a member of the West Valley City Sister City Committee for a term from August 15th of this year to December 31st of 2018, completing a term there, one of 13 members of the Sister City Committee. That is the issue before us. To the council then for a motion.
Move for approval of Resolution 17-134.
Second.
Properly before us. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll turn to our city recorder for the vote.
Councilman Vincent,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lang,
Yes.
Councilman Bueller,
Aye.
Councilman Hume,
Aye.
Councilman Christensen,
Yes.
and Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. That completes the items on our agenda. Any final comments from the council? City manager? Seeing none, then one last motion.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. We are adjourned. Thank you all for coming tonight.